Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to Stately Von Manor, where today we're talking fantasy, the fantasy books I'm going to be reading in 2022 and beyond. Quite a few of these are going to be beyond, because I got a lot to read. But these are definitely the fantasy books I want to get to. Some of these I'm definitely going to get to this year, and the rest of them I'll get to next year, and who knows. We'll see. But the first book on the list of fantasy books that I'm going to be reading very soon is the greatest fantasy book of all, and that is The Lord of the Rings. It's been a decade or two, maybe. Might have been a couple decades since I've read this. The Lord of the Rings. Definitely I was either 30 or early 30s when I read this the last time. So it's been a long time, and I'm anxious to get back to The Lord of the Rings. David Wiley is having a read-along, I believe, for Lord of the Rings. And so in January, I'm going to tackle this big beast, which leads me to a question. This is, as conceived by Tolkien, one book. But I have this ridiculous challenge that I can't buy any books until I've read 100 books. And at this point, as I'm recording this, I'm on my 99th book. I've still got a ways to go. So should I just read it in paperback form, the 3 paperbacks there, and then count it as 3 books? Would that be cheating? Because it is technically, according to Tolkien, 1 book, right? So let me know. Would it be cheating? CriminOlly is going to have to let me know because it's his challenge. So I will leave it in his hands. He probably won't watch this video, but if he does, I'll leave the question to him. He can be the judge since it's his challenge. But after I read Lord of the Rings, I'm going to move on to a writer not enough people read nowadays, and that would be Karl Edward Wagner. I'm going to be reading the complete Kane series. He wrote 3 novels and a couple of short story collections of Kane. This omnibus volume, Gods and Darkness, the complete novels of Kane, has 3 novels in it. I am going to be counting the Kane novels as 3 books because they are individual novels that were released as individual novels. Which means I can't read this. I'm going to be reading them in the paperback editions that they were originally released in. I have OCD, and my brain won't let me count this as 3 because it's clearly 1 book to my stupid brain. And so my brain will light on fire if I read this and try to pretend it's 3, even though it is. So I'll just read the 3 paperbacks, and that way I win. The stories are all collected in this. This is Midnight Sun, the complete short stories of Kane. These 2 volumes are excellent. They were put out by Nightshade Books. I think they're very hard to get now. I think they're pretty expensive. I think you might actually be able to get the individual paperbacks cheaper than these. But you can definitely get all the books individually on the Kindle for cheap. I don't know why it works out that way. I don't know why these just aren't reprinted. But at the moment, that seems to be the way it is. So definitely going to get to the Kane novels because these are great. Karl Edward Wagner was a great writer. Really dark stuff. He was more of a horror writer at heart. So all of these are really, really dark fantasy. Kane is a dark character. He's certainly not a hero. Even though he's the central character of the stories. So, interesting stuff. Well worth looking at. It was grimdark type stuff before that word was invented. So yeah, Kane. Definitely getting into that. I've mentioned recently that I'm also going to be getting back to the Malazan Book of the Fallen. The next one I'm going to be reading is Memories of Ice. This is a certified mammoth right there. It's pretty big. All his books just keep getting bigger. This guy just keeps writing bigger and bigger books. At least he did during this initial series. So yeah, getting to Memories of Ice. I read the first 2 books in this series this year. I really liked them. So next year, definitely getting to that. And the 4th book in the series, House of Chains. So getting to those. I'm really looking forward to those. I really enjoyed those first 2 books in the series. So what else am I going to be getting to as far as fantasy goes? There's some other ones I really want to get to, and one of them is the fantasy writer everybody is always talking about, Brandon Sanderson. I've never read a Brandon Sanderson book, like ever. So Mistborn would be the first one for me. I am told this is where to start, that this is a great series. So yeah, Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson. This is the first Mistborn book, which is, doesn't say on the cover, but I guess it's Mistborn: The Final Empire is the title. I don't know why they don't have that on the cover, but they don't. So yeah, this is the book I want to get to. Everybody says good things about Sanderson. Now here's a book I can't believe I haven't gotten to yet. This is Joe Abercrombie. I read his first 4 books and they were amazing. Then somehow I got on BookTube and haven't read any more because who knows why. But definitely want to get to The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. If it's even half as good as the previous book, Best Served Cold, it's going to be fantastic. Excellent, excellent writer. Joe Abercrombie, he seems to have gotten, at least as far as I read, he's gotten better every book. And so definitely The Heroes from Joe Abercrombie. Now here's one that I want to get to, and it's not because of that dopey TV show that's on TV now. This is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. Again, another book I've meant to get to, and I just haven't. But look, I got this extra fancy version. I hear the TV show is terrible. I have not seen it, so I cannot say that from my own viewing. I have no idea whether it's terrible or not. I should probably watch an episode just to, you know, see what I think. But the book, of course, is its own thing. It will survive any television show, good or bad. This series is a classic now, pretty much, for people who love fantasy. So I kind of feel like it's essential reading. And CriminOlly just recently gave this a good review, so it's probably good. My tastes and his tastes kind of align in a lot of ways, I'm seeing, so I probably will like this quite a bit when I finally do get to it. So those are some of the major ones that I want to get to. But there is another one that I really, really want to get to because it looks really good. And the guy who writes this book is one of us. He's got his own channel here on YouTube where he talks about, well, he's a booktuber and he does great book reviews all the time. That's Lee Durfee, and he wrote this book, The Forgetting Moon. An odd title, but I hear it's a pretty good book by Lee Durfee, The Forgetting Moon. It's not quite a mammoth. It's a baby mammoth because it's like 750 pages or something. So it's not quite the 800-page mammoth, but it's close. The Forgetting Moon. Also wrote the sequel, The Blackest Heart. This is a certified mammoth. This is really big, The Blackest Heart. And he's got another one coming out. So I definitely want to get to this guy's books because his channel is just amazing. It's great. And he's also a fantastic artist. And I guess he stopped doing the art to write the books. And he has a day job in law enforcement. So he's busy, this guy. Busy man. And he makes videos like every day. I don't know where maybe there's 2 of them. Maybe he has a clone. I don't know. But he's busy, this guy, Lee Durfee. And he's fantastic. His channel's awesome. He's hilarious. So yeah, really looking forward to these novels. There are a couple more that I am interested in. One is this one, Godblind by Anna Stevens. Godblind. So there's that. This is like another grimdarky book, I hear. Whatever grimdark is, it seems to be different every book, grimdark. But this, I guess, is one of those kinds of things. On the grimmer side, this book. And I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and so I want to read it. I guess it's one of a series as well. And here's one, Mythical Wood by Robert Holdstock. I wanted to read this book literally for months because it was recommended to me by a fella who I don't think watches my videos anymore. He probably was pissed that I didn't read Mythical Wood yet, or haven't read Mythical Wood yet. Sorry, but I am going to read it. Robert Holdstock's Mythical Wood. It's been I have read Robert Holdstock, but it was so long ago I barely remember anything about his writing, and I know this one is popular. And so I got this. This is from Tor, and it's a backlist book from Tor. So I think it's Tor. Isn't it Tor? Don't make me lie to myself. Yeah, it's Tor. But it's a backlist book, so it's print on demand. I guess Tor does that. All their backlisted books are print on demand now. At least you can get them. I guess there's that. And I'm missing a book. I'm missing a book. Hold on. All right, I have returned, and I found the book I was looking for. It was right over there. David Gemmell's Waylander, the third novel that David Gemmell wrote. I read the first two. I still have to review the second one, but this is the third one. I'm going to be reading this probably this year. Almost certainly I'll be reading this year. I want to read every book by David Gemmell, but I have this book buying ban and I don't have any more books after this one, so it's going to be a while after this one before I read any more, I guess. But I do have plenty to read. It's not like I'm hard up for reading material. You folks might have noticed that. So yeah, those are the fantasy books that are on my radar. Are there any I should read before others? Do you have any opinions about that? Let me know. Let me know. Those are my fantasy books for 2022 and beyond. Be sure to catch me tomorrow. It's comic book day. Somebody ought to watch those videos. So I've got comic book day tomorrow for Wednesday, and then on Thursday, I'm going to be delving back into the books that time forgot. So that'll be fun. Going through all those boxes of books I have. Every single book in my library, I'm going through them. Okay, tons of fun coming up. Woohoo! Book Track 2 coming up probably on Saturday. Okay, guys, I'll catch you later.